story's about a young kid who doesn't know who his father is and who has a real emotional connection to greyhounds. Like a Romulus thing, he's almost been, reared by these greyhounds, and he's very much an outsider. He's very much a kid that is a loner. He knows how to hunt and catch and feed animals and nurture, and I think the likes of Donald could survive on his own in a jungle or a forest anywhere. It's almost like a feral kid in a way. There'd be a lot of myself in that kid and his emotional connection to dogs. I worked on a greyhound farm from about 12 to 14, and the film is pulled on those kind of experiences.
He told us a story that happened to him when he was a kid about being promised a greyhound, and then when the time came that he was supposed to receive it, he was double-crossed. It just seemed such a cruel blow, and the way he told the story was just had a sucker punch to it, The
story is essentially a coming-of-age story of a young boy set in West Belfast.
Tyrone plays the part of Donald, who works for a greyhound trainer, a good Joe, who's played by Ken Stott.
If it's too hard for you to carry two, carry one. Then go back and get the other one. Easy peasy, dropping easy. Go and get your pup, Santa. You want to take the door with you?
Sorry, Joe.
Jesus, you're an awkward one, young Marsh.
The guy who sells greyhounds comes around to where they work, and you can see that Donald fixates on this one dog, and eventually good Joe decides to buy him.
Now, you can look after him. Don't get attached to him. Drews aren't pets. That fella doesn't do the business. He'll find himself up Wheeler's Lake with a boulder on his head.
The dog turns out to be what good Joe would call a jade, a dog that doesn't run, or only runs when it wants to.
He'll win when I want. He'll be stopped when I want.
They're not robots, Joe.
No, the tools. That's what they are. There won't be a next time.
I'll get him to win.
More than you to do that.
If I get him to win, can I keep him?
What?
We sent the script to Robert Carlyle, and within 24 hours he was back saying he wanted to do it.
What do you call him?
The mighty Celt.
Ah, the mythical Irish warrior. Cuchulainn.
Same one. How did you know that?
I know a lot of things, I do.
Likewise with Gillian, when we sent her the script, she was back within 2 or 3 days.
I was kind of biting at the bit to do something that I really cared about, and so I felt quite passionate about it quite quickly, and felt that I understood her.
Kate's very much a strong person, a person that's kind of been let down, feels that, that within life, it's kind of passed her by in a sense, that the only person that she ever loved kind of had to leave her. She has a kid, Donna. Her whole life revolves around this kid.
And where are you going?
Bingo.
On a Tuesday?
It's for charity. I don't have to explain myself to you.
Yes, you do.
Cheeky shite. I ate your dinner up now.
Here. Don't be late now.
Ah.
She's incredibly strong, and she's been through, the troubles in Northern Ireland, and seen a lot of people die and a lot of people close to her be swept up in the struggle of it. And I think she's just trying to get on with her life and trying to get back to some semblance of normalcy.
You never marry? Near did. My last girl. Too much baggage.
Baggage?
Last girl I was out with. I'd been married before, but she had 2 kids to 2 different men. Them kids, it was all F-U-C-K this and F-U-C-K that. One thing I can't abide. Bad language.
I have a kid.
Oh.
Oh.
I didn't know.
And he says fuck the odd time, but it doesn't make him a bad child.
Look, Kate.
Thanks for dinner.
What Kate's basically looking for is, is love. And the only person she thinks that could have ever given her the love that she wanted was this character called O, which is Robert Carlyle. who returns to the fold after 10 years of being away.
It was nice to come and find a script that was about today rather than the past and the troubles of the past. The piece as a whole that attracted me, I just thought it was very honestly written from the heart. And of course when I met Pierce and realised he'd kind of was born and bred in this neighbourhood, I thought, well, that's why. So the accuracy, which is a difficult thing to find sometimes in films, that was there in spades really. So that with the combination of meeting Pierce and feeling that I kind of knew the world.
I, from like kind of day one, always seen Robert Carlyle as that person, because I kind of wanted to not go down the road of what protagonists in Irish films are always perceived to be, which is the big heroic type.
Say it was rough. On the run, fat length of time.
I'll put it like this. It's not as easy as it is now.
What did you expect, a medal?
At the very least.
See, I've been offered to play these parts before, but generally they were wearing leather jackets and a lot of jewellery, you know what I mean? And I thought, nah, this isn't right. This is wrong. This guy's... Isn't he this? And Pierce, of course, I didn't have to convince him. He knew that. So the normal portrayal of being intimidating and dangerous just isn't there with this guy at all. And of course, anyone you talk to about these things tell you that a lot of these guys that were involved in a lot of this stuff, you just would never have guessed for a minute.
All right, kid. Don't be like this.
Get away from my bike now.
Kid.
You deaf as well as dumb.
Obviously, she's reticent to get involved with this guy because the way she perceives it, this boyfriend at the time has buggered off. Of course, the guy has been shot and wounded. This is his sole reason for leaving.
We discover that she was abandoned in a sense, and so she has a lot of feelings about that and a certain amount of resentment about that. All of a sudden he shows up again in the town and in her life.
Gillian!
You're all right.
It's like a monsoon, get in.
I don't need you.
Jesus, kids, and that's all it is.
It's a very, very difficult relationship. It's difficult just to kind of kickstart a relationship like that again.
Stop staring at me.
Jeez, kid, I'm sorry.
You're looking at me like a cat looks at a goldfish.
You'd never think that we...
No.
It's not a love story, this, you know what I mean? But it's more complicated than that.
Yes! Yes! You did brilliant, son. Knew from the minute the traps went up, there was no stopping him.
So, pup.
Which one? Joe.
Ready to go?
Ma says Joe. Joe, Ma. Heard a lot about you.
Sure you have.
Good Joe is pretty remote. His only connection with humanity is with the kid. So the kid, in essence, is his complete world.
Joe lives in a world of greyhound racing, which is a tough business. It's a cruel business. There's no room for sentiment. There's a lot of skeletons in a cupboard with Joe. And Donald represents a new beginning, I think, for him, and the opportunity, I think, to have maybe a father-son relationship. And see you tomorrow, son. You take the day off.
No, Joe.
Hey, you got a result?
Thanks, Joe.
Just one thing, Donald. Never bite the hand that feeds you. Always remember that. You hear me? And that, of course, is shattered somewhat by the return of Owen.
Well, look, here it is.
All right, Joe, how are you?
Still here. Still unrepentant. Unlike the rest of you sellouts.
Are you entitled to your opinion? Free country now.
Funny fella, but it's not. We're worse off than we ever were. You're keeping bad company, Donald.
Tyrone obviously was a great find.
Tara McKenna, 14, and Dilasa.
We've seen about 1,000 kids for the part of Donagh, and you know, we'd seen some serious kids who had just come off the backs of big films. But the one thing that was really emphatic about Tyrone was that every hoop that was set in front of him, he jumped through it.
No, Joe! No!
What'd I tell you?
You can't, Joe! You can't!
Look, the fucking dog's dead, right? He's got no heart, no balls.
Joe, I told you! He's a stair!
You told me.
Just said he got bumped. It was his first time in the traps.
He's just Sean. He had that certain thing that people can't put their finger on.
He's a kid with a certain particular kind of quality that is instantly likeable, and he's very confident.
Gradually through the recall process, he just kept getting better and better and better and better.
He don't care about those dogs. Once they get injured, or start to lose races, he floats them to Knacker's track, sells them to medical research. And once he can't, hits him over the head with a hammer, throws him into Wheeler's Lake. He's had dogs for years, still doesn't know what he's going wrong. But oh, I do. You know what it is? He doesn't love those dogs. If you can't love an old dog, you can't love nothing.
A shoot like this is fairly grueling, particularly if you're 13, 14, and can you get through it? And halfway through the process we found out that Tyrone is All-Ireland under-14 boxing champion, which means A, that he's fit and he's got stamina. B, it means as well that he's a little bit used to performance.
He has a confidence to be able to turn it on when it needs to be turned on, you know. It's like for the moments when the bell rings, he's completely focused.
You wanker, you! You wanker! You stopped him! You made Celt loose!
Shut your mouth.
No, I won't.
Dog lost. That's it.
You're a liar!
I've been involved in good, you know, good experiences with children and not so good at times, and generally the not so good ones is because they get kind of used to it, you know what I mean? They get kind of used to being a wee bit pampered and maybe having people offering them cups of tea and coffee and putting jackets over them and stuff like that, and they can tend to get a wee bit, as we say in Scotland, a bit gallus about the whole thing. But this wee kid, you know, just none of that at all. There's none of that from him. He's got exactly the right manner. He's got a wonderful manner.
I know you. You're at Brandy's commemoration.
That's right, you must be Kate's kid.
Don't know.
Hey, there you go, small world, eh?
Want one?
Yeah, all right. Bad for your health.
Not the one that can't walk up a wee hill.
From not having experience with acting before, he has a remarkable innocence and clarity to his work.
The dog flew. Did you turn off foot?
What?
A ball speed.
What is it, a dog or a car?
If he was a car, it'd be a Boston Ferrari.
Lingo. Sorry, Ma. That head of yours is too wild for them shoulders. Now, can we talk about something else other than your dog and this good Joe?
He let me name him and all.
Enough.
I think he's doing an incredible job. There's so many moments during scenes when we work together where, you know, you're just in awe of the fact that this stuff is just kind of rolling effortlessly out of him and so accurate and appropriate to the scene. And I think he's incredible. He's amazing.
Remember, Tyrone, seeing this dog hears this thing, he's going to start. So if he starts, you lift him up. If you lift him up, you have him there, look.
Yep.
Get him. And then you have more control of him. Right?
So, folks, everybody clear the track now, please. And action.
Go on, Celt.
Cut! That wasn't bad. Can we go for one more?
I think Piers is what would be described as a force of nature. I think he's obviously confident in his talent, and he should be. I think in particular with this script as a first film for him, because it's so natural to him and it's his world, and this is where he's from and he's in his own environment, I think that probably gives a certain comfort and security to him in what he's doing.
I said that to my wife, actually. I said, wait till you meet this guy. I said, you don't believe it, he's a poet. You know what I mean? Whatever a poet looks like, because that's the way I see him. He's incredibly sensitive. He's got wonderful sensitivities and sensibilities about him, you know, and maybe you just wouldn't expect that. He's kind of brusque exterior, you know. And you can see that with the crew as well, that the relationship that he's got with all these people, it's kind of like a big family, you know, and it's a lovely, he creates a lovely atmosphere. And that's something I think that it's not in any kind of rule books, but it's the first thing I think any good director tries to do. He's not even trying, just sits back and the atmosphere is there, and it's a real advantage for him.
When I first met him, when we first had a meal together, when he was interested in me doing the movie, I thought he's such an unlikely director, but there was something about him that was so compelling and appealing that I just couldn't say no, in a sense, because I thought it would be really fascinating to work with somebody with his mind. He's a very smart man.
think it's something that should appeal to a very broad audience. Great performances and great characters.
To quote one of the famous politicians, it's an imperfect piece, but it's a piece. The more and more we go on now, it's going to become more historically important to kind of document what went on. So this is first, I would say, post-conflict film that's dealing with those very contemporary issues.
There's beautiful moments between some of the characters and very subtle humour that kind of comes unexpected, which makes it all the funnier and more endearing.
It's got hope, it's got the future, it's got this wee lad kind of representing a brighter future for this place, and that can only be good.